Imtiaz, I mean, you have been asked about this a lot of times, but travel is a major trope in your cinema throughout your films. But while the idea of travel is usually very positive and it's seen in such a manner that okay, travel is a great way to sort of leave that space and explore a new story. But it is also a method to escape. So, must your characters always escape to live out their stories?
Not necessarily. Characters, also I feel that characters can escape in different ways. I think being in a relationship with somebody or having a certain feeling of devotion towards a girl is also a kind of an escape from the mundane life that you live otherwise. It brings in the juice. And I feel that having a coffee break is also an escape. So there are escapes that are small and big. If I'm sipping this was an escape, So then, but yeah, I feel that an escape is a very good and a dramatic deviation that makes a story interesting.
Okay, that's great. Barring Socha Na Tha, you've stuck to big names in the industry. In fact, your next film, I believe, has Shah Rukh Khan in it, right? Why would you do that? Why would you only stick to big names? Because you have a name that can carry the film as well, right? So,
see, when I'm casting for a movie, there are a couple of things that I keep in mind. The primary and perhaps the most important is the suitability to a character of an actor. So if I feel that this is going to be exciting for me, if this guy says these lines or does this or becomes that person, then I go for it. The other thing that I do also keep in mind is the fact that there is somebody who's going to bring the money in for me to tell the story, right? Yeah. And as I said earlier in the session, it is in a way my responsibility to make sure that he recovers his money. Otherwise, cinema as a medium is going to go down. So I will have to take into consideration certain, his ideas about who is acceptable or in what way can we make this movie profitable. But sometimes also what happens is that I'm meeting professional actors and some of them, just because they are popular, doesn't mean that they will not remain suitable or interesting in a certain role.
Fair enough.
So that's how it goes. And then when the time comes, for instance, I was very clear that I did not want a very well established, a big superstar when I was making Highway. And Randeep at that point of time was of course a very fantastic actor, everyone knew him, but he was not a mega star. And Alia was a newcomer, so then I did go with that, but I knew that, and that's why I produced the film myself, because I felt that I must share the responsibility.
And that went really well for you, so...
Yeah, that went very well for me.
Your female characters are often greatly admired. I've read this, I just...
By me at least.
I saw a Hindustan Times interview where they were talking about this. But I would like to point out something different. They constantly, at least to me as a viewer, they constantly appear to be a foil to the male character. And
like who appears to be a foil? Geet Dhillon appears to be a foil?
Geet changed Aditya's life.
Yeah. And, so isn't that a good thing?
No, but it's like they introduced to bring a change to the male character.
No, but then...
the story culminates with the male character's life.
But Bharti's character in Highway changed the life of Veera too, which that is Alia's character in Highway. So the reverse is also happening in the movie. Guess who directed that?
That's true, but I'm also referring to, like, say, a Tamasha.
Where Tamasha for sure.
Is very strong.
She's the inspiration, for sure. The story was more about
his struggle.
Yeah. So there are stories about different things. When, for instance, in many movies, the story was about a mutual kind of a struggle, but sometimes it will be more weighed towards one person.
Okay. Also, Tamasha is my favorite film of your lot.
Where she's a foil.
Where she's a foil, well, but actually she's an excellent foil, but she's also an excellent character. So, artists, these are themes that you often revisit. So like in Rockstar there's music, in Tamasha there's theatre, in Jab We Met Again there's music, And the character often finds themselves through art. this struggle somewhere something that you have personally experienced in life that probably carries out in your cinema again and again?
Well, I have been in the situation where I was thinking, how do I make my career if I want to pursue writing? Because writing is what I wanted to originally do, and then all performing arts, and I could never really convince myself that I'd be able to support myself and earn a living if I did theatre or if I did performing arts or try to make movies. So yes, I have been there, but the situation is not even close to what it was, for instance, for Ranbir's character Ved in Tamasha. But I do feel interested in artists. I do feel that there is a certain sense of acceptance. You know, the mind is open, often the heart is open of an artist. So it becomes a more interesting character for me to relate to while I'm writing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Just one question, which is in the session that I just attended, you spoke about and apparently you've been thinking about songs and the relevance of songs. I found that very fascinating. So you explained it as a deeper, you explained them as deeper and greater ecstasies.
Yeah.
Right. But doesn't Bollywood tend to then thwart the idea of that? Because oftentimes it uses songs in like the most absurd places.
Yeah.
So is there also a loss of the relevance of music because of the way it is utilized?
Sometimes it happens like that, but I feel that if the execution is not so good, you can't really blame the concept. You know, people need to put songs into their movies in a way that makes the story more powerful, more enchanting, a deeper interaction perhaps with the audience, and to get into that deeper ecstasy. But but just because some people are doing it wrong, or even if I am being unable to reach it to that degree, doesn't mean that the concept of having songs is wrong.
But you indulge greatly with the music in your cinema because there is, I mean, the music sort of leaves a sort of impact. There's a legacy of music through your cinema.
I think one of the most interesting things that I get to do as a filmmaker is to indulge in music.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's great. I'm so glad you do that.